Pastor Amuche. So we make sure that that is done. And you prep yourself like common time, prepare yourself because you are preparing yourself for you to receive God in you and for God to be there for you to watch it. Not just you walking, it's not something you just do like you do. You have to prepare yourself way ahead of time. You have to be in that mode to be able to be in the spirit. To be in the spirit meaning transforming from the physical realm into the spiritual realm. In the book of John chapter 4, we read last week, we talked about who does God seek, and we said, according to the scriptures we read in John chapter 4, that the Lord seeks those that worship Him in truth and in the Spirit. And then Christ Himself, speaking from the mouth of Jesus Christ, says that God is a spirit. So if you are here in a physical form, we all sit down here and we sit by ourselves and just like physically that way, we are not there to worship God, we are not worshiping God. We are playing, you are having fun, you are fulfilling all righteousness, just to say you went to church. You haven't been to church. The Lord says that He seeks those that worship Him in truth and in the Spirit. So if you don't worship God in truth and in the Spirit, it's God is seeking you. So why are you asking God? Well, God, because God was never there with you because you haven't transformed into that spiritual realm. How do you become a spirit? Ka ihe ya eme ka ịdị na mmụọ because na Chineke bụ mmụọ ọ bụrụ mmadụ. Chineke bụ mmụọ ọ bụrụ mmadụ abịa. So ihe ya eme ka ịdị na mmụọ is in changing your form, transforming yourself in the spiritual forms. In which case that ị nọzighị n'ụwa nke a, ị ha ịnọrọgo n'ụwa ọzọ. Ụnọrọgo n'ụwa nke Chineke, ị nọghọzi n'ụwa nke a. And ịdị ezi nọrọ n'ụwa nke Chineke bụ that na ihe na-emedo okirikiri ebe a, ị na-efe Chineke na-worship Chineke. Efu na mmadụ nwere ike daa ebe a ya amadụ na onye ahụ ma because you are not here. O nwere ike sị efe na ihe na-eme ebe a ị maadụ because you have already moved in the spiritual realm. So all here it takes practice, learning, and then for one to get to that form and format when you're so no longer here. Sometimes when I preach and sometimes I would want to refer to a he, I call she. I want to refer to a she, I call he. The sense that my mind is no longer here to differentiate between a man and a woman in terms of the language and how the nouns are used for them, because by then I'm already in the spiritual form. Because in the spiritual form, God does not distinguish between a man or a woman. And because I'm in that form, I just use the term just to refer to the message and whatever that the Lord is trying to say at the time. So when you come to worship God, because we've said last Sunday that we want something to happen in everybody's life that came here. Something new happening in somebody's life. So how will something new happen in somebody's life if the person never worshiped God? You see what I mean? So that is why we have to always prepare ourselves before we come to the presence of God. Onye ọbụla na-abịa n'ihu nke Chineke ya akwado onwe ya n'ime mmụọ na n'eziokwu. Onye a wee nwee ike n'ọgwụ na Chineke akpa nkata. Revelation chapter 3 verse 20. The Lord says that when He knocks on your door, when the Lord comes, because as you can see in declaring it, we invited God to come to join us in this worship. In Matthew 12, you go there when 2 or 3 gather, the Lord is there. So in order for all these things to take place here, there are all of us that are in this church today, the Lord is here. And because the Lord is not a man, we prepare ourselves, in the spirit, so that you can be in the spirit. Okay? Because these are the things that are hindrances that sometimes people ignore. That is why you see the people, they've been going to church all their life. Nothing has changed in their life. I don't know if you look around you in your family, but I like to talk about my family because that's one I know. You find there are a lot of people around me in my family. They go to church almost 7 days a week, but their life is stagnant. It doesn't change from year to year. It does not change. Remember that we want to change the way we worship God so that God will be meaningful in our life. We touch our life. So onye na-efe Chineke mana every year etu ahụ ọdụ ka ọdụ, etu ahụ ha ka ọha, etu ahụ ihe niile stand still, trouble, from year to year, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, it's the same way. That is not God. It's not God of the soldiers. And we said it the last time, if you are na-efe Chineke, in all 6 months na ndụ, onweghị ihe bara uru, there's some progress. Ọkwa king ka Chineke bụ. The God is a king. And every Sunday that we do, at least every Sunday, and though in the days of the apostles, every day they are in the house of the Lord, but now people are so busy that they only go on Sabbath day or Sunday when they do go. And you find that all the days of their life, they go, they do all these things, but their life is stagnant. And what I learned from coming to visit here is that there is always someone to blame. They have a culture of how do you call it? The culture, how do we call it in America? Victim mentality. A victim mentality, victimology. When somebody begins to feel in their mind, in their life, that they are victim, they feel pity for themselves. Victim mentality. So note that victim mentality holds also people from worshiping God in truth and in the spirit. And how does it stop people from worshiping God in truth and in the spirit? When you feel that you are a victim, as you can see, everybody blames Nigerian government for every bad thing that is happening in Nigeria. But the Nigerian government have leaders who are Nigerians. Were they not children of somebody in Nigeria? Don't they have a family in Nigeria? Is Nigeria not the environment where they were brought up? So they are leaders, a product of the environment. And when you say that because of what Nigerian leaders are doing, which is wicked and evil, no doubt about that, but you cannot feel to become a victim when you say God is your king. Is there anything God cannot do? So how come when we come and we say we worship God as in truth and in the spirit, we still feel like a victim? So does that mean that the leaders of Nigeria are greater than God? So those that feel like Satan is the one that is stopping the boat, they blame Satan for everything. There is a new doctrine that mostly in Pentecostal churches where they have come in order to corrupt the mind of the people because of the false doctrines of making people victims so that they can continue to exploit them. So when you say that you are a victim, Nigerian problems, all the